So there was absolutely no point in going to Sarai. I mean, the Sandflower Valley and all that. Yeah, none of that was something... I don't know. It just all worked out that way. So anyway, now let's go into Korok. There's a few new enemies in Korok. Mainly, there's a new type of cap. If you don't remember what caps are, because, hell, I barely remember what caps are. They're the little platypus guys. And, of course, we got Flugoos. I think the Flugoos are new. Yeah, they're new. Be very careful with the Flugoos. They're not obscenely powerful, but they do have the giant growth spell. And can hit your entire party. So, yes. One other thing you might notice is that we now have 4 party members. And we actually get to use all 4 of them in combat. This is a good time to talk about wills. Basically, we have the front row, and we can actually target the back row there. We have a front row and a back row. The 3 people in the front row get to actually participate in combat. The up to 3 people in the back row, what they do is they sit back there and they rest. There's a couple of good reasons to put people in the back row. One is if you're out of AP. Remember I talked about the CP status, or the CP stat? That is how much AP you recover in a turn while you're in the back row. Urshin actually has the highest CP stat out of every character in your party. For the lowest levels, she actually generally has a CP equal to her max AP. Now, that's assuming she doesn't have a master on that modifies her AP. But she has a really high CP. Nina, of course, has the second highest. Ryu actually has a very high CP. It really helps with the longer boss battles. You could throw him in the back row when he's out of AP and fight with a couple other guys. If the bosses are still alive, you could bring him back up front and switch back into a dragon and just really go at it. Now that we also have a back row, let's talk a little bit about wills. I, of course, mentioned that Ryu's will is his meditate ability. Nina's is called Cheer. She will only use it from the back row. When one of your front row fighters is down in yellow HP, Nina has a fairly high chance of casting Cheer. And Cheer will heal your entire front row party for half the value of her normal heal spell. It's very useful. Just don't count on it, is all I'm saying. Another will that can only be used in the back row is Urshin's. Urshin's is called Covering Fire. I've read that it can combo, but I've never seen it do as such. Basically, Urshin just goes, I will assist you, and does a regular attack. It has the strength of a regular attack. It is mildly useful, but it has this really bad habit of pretty much happening when I'm trying to learn a skill and am keeping an enemy alive, and then Urshin will just, kill it. And that's annoying. It's very, very annoying. Of course, Urshin is only level 6. Free eye drops, I'll take it. It's not Raptor Claws, but... Now, this gentleman right here is Rolf. No muss, no fuss. He is the first master we come across in the game. All you have to do to apprentice under him is agree with him. Just like real life. If you want something from someone, the best way to do that is to get their help is to just agree with whatever they say. Oh, in case you're wondering, unless I'm mistaken, Kray's will is actually a protect ability. Like, he'll take damage for someone else in the front row. If you're both in the front row and you're in critical health, I think he will actually jump in and take damage. I am not 100% sure on that. I will have to look that up and get back to you on it. I've actually never seen Kray have a will activate, so I am not 100% sure on that. Well, anyway, Rolf is a spellcasting master, so we definitely want him on Nina. As you can see there, 1 AP, 1 intellect, and just a slight minor loss to power. That's actually really good, and he's really good for Urshan. Urshan never, even at the beginning of the game, when Urshan is situated more in the fighter category, she's never super powerful, like physically. And Rolf is a wonderful character to have, because when you get to the point when is a wonderful master to have on Urshan, because when you get to the point where Urshan switches over, she will actually have a significant boost in her wisdom and AP that will allow her to pretty much immediately pick up being like kind of a support combo spellcaster, helping the other characters fill in abilities and make elemental combos. She's really good at that because she actually learns every elemental spell. She learns every level 3 elemental spell in the game at some point. She's kind of like Cat from Breath of Fire 2 in that aspect. For a while there, she doesn't have enough AP, but, she starts to quickly get AP. Now, another thing you may have noticed there when Rolf was talking was, unlike Breath of Fire 3, you actually do not get skills the same way. In Breath of Fire 3, of course, you were under a master, and while under that master, you had to get X number of levels, meaning you had to stick with that master until you got the skills you wanted. Well, in this game, you get the skills by performing tasks, and the tasks will vary from master to master. Of course, for Rolf, he wants combos. There are some masters that want you to do X number of damage in a single hit. There is one master that wants fishing points. We got a new enemy here, the Red Cap. Red Caps actually are the game's boss goblins. They actually even have waist cloths you can steal from them if you have a steal ability. They teach the command skill. He might not use it because those are mage goos. So I'm guessing he's not going to use it. So let's just go ahead and kill him. Command is not super useful in this game. I mean, it's okay, but not super useful. Still useful for directing confused characters, but that's pretty much it. Another thing about the back row, if you put a character who has a status effect into the back row, it will actually eventually heal itself. This works for every status effect in the game except poison. So be sure to take advantage of that. Rolf wants a combo of 5 hits. This is actually pretty easy to do as long as you can get at least 3 enemies on the screen. Of course, I apparently can't do that. Anyway, you need... Oh, there's a giant growth ability. So, see, it's not like super powerful, but yeah, it hits everybody. So, what we actually want to do is... there is a sort of rare random encounter around here. It's basically with a platoon of caps. You end up with like 5 regular caps and then 1 red cap. And it's an amazing way to rack up lots and lots of hits. It's very rare in this map, although I have seen it once or twice. I've seen it more out in a question mark field, but it's really not required to get. So don't go out of your way to look for it. I would recommend, though, going ahead and getting the 5-hit combo if I can find a group of 3 freaking enemies. Go ahead and give me some freaking enemies. That way I can go ahead and pick up the first spell he will teach while I'm here in Korok. I don't have to come back. Because it actually is a very useful spell. Despite being weak, it's very useful, I think. Okay, I'm escaping from this. There is actually a spell in the game. It's a physical attack, but that is powered up by the number of times you've ran away from a battle. It's called Coward's Way. If you've ever played Final Fantasy V and gotten the chicken knife, it's a very similar concept, except for the fact that there's not a definite formula. This will work. I actually go ahead and pick up command while I'm here. Of course. Of course. It's not going to teach it to me. One of the downsides to the skill learning system in this game compared to, say, Breath of Fire 3 is that in Breath of Fire 3, when you examined an enemy, it disabled your counterattacks. Well, in this game, if you're defending, it does not disable your counterattacks. You will still actually counterattack. And there's Urshin with her covering fire, which I did not want her to do. Come on, use command. Alright, this is not going to work. Let's see, first, let's heal this cap. Use an item on yourself. I want that. That cap has to be at full HP for this to work. So, and you guard Urshin. That way, in case it uses command. And the best way to get a 5-hit combo at this stage of the game, your options are really, really limited at this point, unfortunately. Game! Game! Why? And of course, just like the boss goblins, the red caps run away. Okay, I'm just gonna leave here. We'll get it later. It's not a big deal. The spell he teaches is actually Eddie. It's functionally exactly the same as Sever. So I recommend you put it on Urshin. Okay, let's try this one more time. Special. Alright. Flame Strike, Burn, Sever. And if everything combos, of course it doesn't. If everything had comboed correctly, basically what would happen is that Flame Strike would get, that'd be 1 hit. Because it's a fire elemental attack, Burn would get 2 hits. That's 3 hits, and then it would probably have killed, and then that would have been, well, it would have killed anybody, and then you get 3 more hits from the Firewind, and that gives you a 6-hit combo, more than the required 5. But I'll get that later. The game is not cooperating with me. I'm going to go ahead and set up camp here. We can talk to our party members and rest at the I do believe in it, actually. That's real deep, Urshin. Now, a couple of functions about the camp I couldn't show you before. Now, if you go down here to Master, you can actually quit studying under a Master, join a Master, and if you want, you can hit Info and then X, and it will tell you what you have to do to get your next skill. And right there, it actually will tell you what the next skill is going to teach you is. See, next, Eddie. That's a level 1 wind elemental spell.